Hello and welcome, gentlemen and ladies. What's going on, Bitcoiners? It's Dan here, and this is a very early show for me and for you, especially for me because it's about 1 a.m. right now. And yeah, I just thought I'll bring you the news um, since I'm not gonna have very much time on Saturday, so I might as well just do it. Today's Saturday, um, so might as well just do it. Anyway. Let's start with a little bit of news. Iran, uh, Bitcoin miners move into mosques to dodge electricity bills. I think you might have heard about this story um, already, but they decided to move into mosques to pretty much avoid uh, all the bills. So apparently, they have like costly electricity bills. Very so. Um, let's see what the article's saying. Clever miners in Iran are setting up shop in local mosques to swerve costly electricity bills, but the government are hot on their heels. Um, a social media user and the local press report this week, around 100 miners are now participating in the Bitcoin network from local mosques. In Iran, mosques get free electricity from the government, making them ideal location for the energy-intensive mining process. Uh, a photograph uploaded to Twitter and subsequently translated into English by Oxford University researcher Maxa Ali Mardani appeared to show a setup at an unnamed mosque, not annual, at an unnamed mosque. She commented, uh, "Mosques receive free energy in Iran. Iranians have set up Bitcoin miners in them. There's around 100,000. Um, there's around 100 here, producing around $260,000 US a year. This money goes a long way in Iran's choked, sanctioned economy." And she also went out. She also posted the Twitter picture, which I will leave in the description. Um, I'm gonna leave the article in the description, so if you want to take a look at that and do some further reading yourself, I'll do that. While not everyone believes in the mosque phenomenon is genuine, 260,000 is still no small amount for the citizens of a country which faces economic turmoil and sanctions which increase rather than decrease in 2019. Um, so the latest political forecast with the U.S. has taken its toll on the already heavily inflated Iranian rial, with black market. Oh, wait a minute, it just jumped. Um, let me. I kind of lost my place. Okay, black market rates now hovering at 132,000 to the dollar. In 2015, at the time of its previous uh, U.S. administration signed a new treaty opening up Iran to the world economy once again. The exchange rate was $32,000. I mean, 32,000 real per $1. 132,000 real to the dollar. It's an obscene amount of money. Um, so, I mean, that I guess that depends, because we all know Venezuela, and Venezuela has billions, millions for everyday items, and they turn out to be less than a dollar, or less than you know um, 20 pesos, which is about a dollar. Um, so Iran's patchwork BTC tolerance. Over the past 2 years, Tehran, the capital of Iran, has been curiously bearish about cryptocurrency despite its sanctions dodging potential. In April 2018, Iran's central bank issued a formal note to the banks telling them not to serve crypto businesses, a decision which preceded announcements that the government would issue a cryptocurrency of its own. That is insanely stupid. I mean, come on. It's a stupid decision. So they have like a free way to bypass sanctions and whatnot. Well, sort of. I would like to point that out, sort of. Um, and they have a very good way to enrich themselves and help out their economy, and the government um, has been kind of like ignoring it. That's what governments do, really. Um, the people that are in power are extremely stupid. But I mean, they just want to keep the power. They just want to do well themselves, and pretty much screw the country, right? Um, in September, meanwhile, the state conversely took a step of formally recognizing Bitcoin as a mining industry. They should have. That move again appears to run contrary to events this week, as authorities seized 1,000 mining units after alleging they caused a 7% surge in power usage. Well, no crap, right? Like, seriously, come on. If you're mining Bitcoin, in the middle of y- y- in the middle of the North Pole, like the heat from the miners, it's probably gonna kind of melt the snow, right? And also, I mean, they're connected to the grid, and they can pretty much pinpoint where a power surge is going on. So um, they already, that's how they help themselves really. The- Um, and that's how they catch these Bitcoin miners. Um, Two of these Bitcoin farms have been identified with consumption of 1 megawatt. Arash Nawab, power official in the capital, in the central province of Yadz, I think that's how you pronounce it, told local TV, quoted by Reuters. According to the news outlet Iran Daily, meanwhile, the Ministry of Energy plans to cut off power to all miners until tariffs for electricity change. And says they, and I quote, will be identified and their electricity will be cut. The publication reported referencing an official at the ministry, Mustafa Rajavi Masadi. June had previously seen the unveiling of an unlikely addition to Iran's mining scene in the form of a sanction dodging skyscraper. Um, the what do you guys think? Like, like I guess another thing why they choose like the mosques, right? Is because you have to be extremely respectful. I mean, it's a place of worship. So, aside from the free energy, right? Like, you have to be extremely respectful, and you can't disturb, their worship at certain hours of the day. So I think that's why another reason, right, why they did that. So anyway, now let's move on to the next article, which is extremely exciting. Bitcoin Lightning Network hits 11 million uh, dollars in capacity, plus updates, right? So let's just go ahead and read that. The rundown: L2 coming to Lightning Network, atomic multipath payments, and payment point. Okay, so Bitcoin scaling solution, the Lightning Network is currently sitting at a capacity of around $11 million more, worth of Bitcoin. More interestingly, though there are major updates underway already. So recently, Lightning Labs, um, is it LND? I believe it's LND. It's called. They unveiled an app. It's a Lightning wallet called Lightning by Lightning Labs Incorporated. Um, it's pretty slick, really. I like it. I like it, and I mean it's just in like in test, not really testnet, but it's in like alpha version, and you really have to be careful what you do with alpha versions. So um, I wouldn't put too much um, Bitcoin in there, too many satoshis. Um, so yeah, it says L2 coming to Lightning Network. A user going by the name of I can't even pronounce that. ALMKGLOR has taken to Reddit to discuss some of the upcoming updates on Bitcoin scaling solution, the Lightning Network. Firsthand is a channel update protocol touted L2. According to the user, L2 will be solving the network's toxic waste, quote unquote, problem under the current protocol. The old state is considered dangerous, hence toxic, because if it's acquired by someone else, they can use it to publish a still unilateral closed transaction that must be treated as a theft attempt. Hence, you could, in theory, get punished, and lose funds. So with the new update, the old state is not being revoked, but instead is gainsaid by the later state. Moreover, it will it would allow multiple participants in the update protocol. Naturally, L2 comes with a few setbacks as well. It would require base layer change, and it would make determining the cost of the routes a bit harder, hence complicating route finding algorithms. Um, Atomic multipath payments (AMP). In essence, the purpose of this update is to split larger payments into smaller ones. There are three different variants of the AMP implementation. These include original. This was proposed by Lightning Labs. It sacrifices the proof of payment, so it allows each path to have different payment hash. Base. This variant retains proof of payment as it simply uses payment hash for all the routes. High. This one combines both base and original. It retains proof of payment and guarantees the cryptographically secure waiting for all the parts. In terms of benefits, the above would provide better expected reliability as the capacity for multiple channels to be used uh, to pay. However, it also suggests higher fees and it's not particularly clear on how to split up the payments. So now it comes with the payment points. Instead of using pre-images and payment hashes as it is right now, this update will replace them with payment points and scalars. The invoice would contain a payment point and the receiver would reveal the payment uh, private key, right? So this would allow for a whole lot of further improvements such as non-custodial escrow payments, decorrelation, stockless payments, and so forth. Now it's also worth noting that these are just small parts of the updates that are underway for the Lightning Network as well um, as Bitcoin has reported earlier in May. There are 13 upgrades intended to solve the network's biggest hurdles, according to Lightning LN tracking resource 1ML. So Lightning Network, it's you can track it, right? Like it shows you the nodes and stuff. I've been there; it's pretty cool. Um, if you have a node, you can claim it, and you can name it whatever you want. The network capacity is almost at 11 million, while the number of nodes has increased by almost 4% over the past month to reach 8,886. So yeah, the Lightning Network is catching on, and it's good, because before there was a lot of like FUD around it, which they shouldn't be, right? Like, I mean, they tested it and they've been retesting and retesting and retesting, and it's obviously the developers, like, if they're testing it and they're developing it, right? It's because somebody um, proposed a BIP to Bitcoin, like Bitcoin improvement proposal, and it got approved. I mean, guys, anyone can do it. If somebody tells you, "Oh yeah, the Bitcoin developers," anybody can be a Bitcoin developer. But, but, but I must say that you have to be good enough. You have to be top of your game, right? You can't just be like half-assing stuff. You have to be really good. Anybody can be a Bitcoin dev, and anybody can, propose a improvement proposal, and submit an improvement proposal for Bitcoin. It's not like they want you to think that a certain group controls Bitcoin. Nobody controls Bitcoin. The developers are working their hardest, and they test the network and then retest it and retest it. It's not like I believe it was SegWit 2x that they wanted to put it and they accidentally hard work on testnet. I don't know how the hell you do that, but somehow they managed to do it, and that's what they wanted to put into Bitcoin. Why do you think it didn't get in? Why do you think it didn't get in? Because they didn't make the cut, and because the people we don't want it. It was consensus, right? Like that that's what they say. The majority wins, and the majority won. And they kind of said that the reason that they didn't want, like Eric Voorhees, that the reason that they didn't want to do it, to go with it at the end, like 24 hours later, was because it would cost a chain split. No. Well, yeah, it would have cost a chain split, but they realized that we didn't want it, and if they did it anyway, they you know who would use them? But anyway, that's a different thing. That's a different story. Let's just move on. Um, the next article says Bitcoin price volatility is nothing to be scared of. Oh hell no. We all know. I mean, if you're a noob, welcome to Bitcoin. Really, that's all I can say. You know, and a little tip is like, don't keep looking at your wallet like every 5 minutes. You're gonna go insane. Don't keep looking at the damn price like every 5 minutes. Seriously, trust me, you're gonna go insane. And Bitcoin does what it does, right? Like, j- just just buy Bitcoin. I'm not gonna say forget about it. Um, it's Bitcoin. You could you have to be very careful, really. But buy Bitcoin. Don't look at the price. Forget about the price. The price doesn't matter. It does if you want to buy some more. But if you're in it for the long term, the price doesn't matter right now. The, Forget about the price and focus on getting more Bitcoin. That's the only advice I could get you for free, right? I could help you. We could help you at justlearnbitcoin.com if you need a consultation. But and this is something I told my old audience, right? Um, from my previous channel. I don't know if I said that in the English version, but in the Spanish version, I would tell the audience, like my subs, some of which were very loyal. Um, I would tell them, don't look at the price every 5 minutes. You're gonna go insane. Bitcoin is volatile. It's like a woman. When you least expect it, it kicks you in the nether regions. But yeah, Bitcoin is volatile. That's what it does. So reasons for volatility can be good for Bitcoin, right? Like, hey, it was $3,000 a few weeks ago, and now it's like, I believe it says, um, $11,449, and well, in the 400 range, 11,400 range, 440 range, like mid range. Um, so that's the reason why it is, because it's volatile. That's part of it, and the other reason is because it's a bull market, and the bear market just pretty much ended. And I mean, there's still people that think it might go lower. It might, because that's what it does. But if it does go lower, don't look at it in a bad way. Just say, hey man, it's at a discount. I could buy more Bitcoin right now than with the same amount of money. If you're assuming you're um, dollar cost averaging, you could buy the same amount of money and you can get more Bitcoin if it goes down. Hey, it is what it is. And remember what I told you guys. I think I said this yesterday. Um, well, right now, if you buy $20 worth of Bitcoin, it might not seem like much. If you buy $100 worth of Bitcoin, it might not seem like much. If you buy $50 worth of Bitcoin, it might still not seem like much, right? Even if you buy 200 or 300, whatever, it doesn't seem much. But back in the day, in 2014, 2015, I was buying Bitcoin every week. I would buy $20, $20, $20, $20, $20, $20, $20, and I would get around point 0.2, point 0.1 Bitcoin. Bitcoin was about $200. Um, and guess what? Point 0.1 Bitcoin right now, like I mentioned yesterday, point 0.1 Bitcoin right now, it's about $400 or so. It's about 10% of a Bitcoin. So, um, if I'm doing the calculations right, let's take a look. Um, let's take a look. Point 0.1, not 0.11, just point 0.1. God damn. Point 0.1 Bitcoin, it is about $1,151, and I was getting it for $20 in 2015. Come on, dude. Seriously? Seriously? And point 0.1 Bitcoin, which I was getting for the same amount of money just 2 years ago, 3 years ago, excuse me, 3 years ago in 2016, early 2017, I was getting point 0.01 Bitcoin, and now it's $115. Um, yeah, it might not seem like much right now, but just wait a couple years. Just wait. Just trust me. Just wait. Anyway, um, and Bitcoin price has suffered. First major pullback in 41 days. It's natural. Uh, but while this seems like a daunting thought, there are some who actually believe that this is a good thing. Yeah, it is a good thing. If the damn thing keeps going up, any I don't care what asset you're looking at, if the damn thing keeps going up and up and up and up and up, and there's no correction or pullback or retracement or however you want to call it, um, it's gonna be a repeat of 2017. Like, straight down after $19,666. Just just straight the hell down. Um. Anyway, a Twitter thread from Bitcoiner and Stanford law student Connor Brown makes the case for volatility. And I'm gonna quote his tweet. Says volatility is good. One, it shakes up the weekends. Yeah, we know that, and makes Bitcoin surge to go to the strongest of hodlers. So if they sell, we buy cheap. Really, we buy cheaper. Two, it's free Bitcoin advertising. Volatility makes headlines. Hell yeah, it does. Like it or not, it does. If uh, Bitcoin goes to like $20,000 by tomorrow, you're gonna bet your ass you're gonna be seeing it on the news, on every goddamn news station. CNN, CNBC, Bloomberg, Forbes magazine. Um, every major mainstream news outlet like Fox and stuff, they're gonna be covering Bitcoin at some point. Really. And three, it's a direct function of Bitcoin's unparalleled absolute scarcity. Supply is static, so price is volatile. Hell yeah. So, firstly, volatility can help, like I mentioned, shake out weak hands. When somebody gets scared, we're gonna buy it cheap. We're gonna buy it cheap, trust me. And we're gonna be laughing all the way to the bank because we're gonna be making insane, obscene amounts of money. Um, if no publicity is bad publicity, then volatility provides free marketing for Bitcoin. Sure, the mainstream media like to crow about how worthless Bitcoin is, and they're gonna say, "Oh, Bitcoin's dead." How many times has Bitcoin died in the past 10 years? Over 300 times or so. Um, but every time the price drops, right? Like everybody's like, "Oh, Bitcoin's worthless. It's dead. It's a failed project." And then when it goes up, Bitcoin is back. And this is how you're gonna be making money on Bitcoin, right? Like they're gonna be giving you advice. Um, but the thing is, when a news outlet that is mainstream tells you to buy, that's when you sell. But that also draws attention to the fact that it has risen so much, right? I'm I know that one of these days, just one of these days, it could be 2019, it could be 2020, it could be 2021, it could be 2022 for all I care. I don't know. But someday I'm gonna be getting a call back from my ex girlfriend. Hey Dan, you still gonna have that Bitcoin? Yeah, I still have the Bitcoin digger. I still have the Bitcoin. So yeah, Bitcoin's below $12,000 for now. Um, 3 months ago it was just around 4K. So if you bought at 4K, you're in profit. If you bought last year, you're still in profit. Congratulations for holding through. Well, not really through the bear market. Unless you bought in 2017, then congratulations. Um, but yeah, I mean, if you bought in 2018, um, when everybody thought that Bitcoin was gonna go lower, when everybody thought that or told you that Bitcoin was a bad investment, when you thought that, excuse me, when you thought that you kind of might have screwed up buying Bitcoin, and you were just about ready to give up, that's when it pops. So, congratulations. Welcome to Bitcoin, like I said. Finally, the post argues that we need volatility if Bitcoin is going to go from nothing to a global reserve asset. Certainly, we wouldn't even be thinking in those terms if Bitcoin price was still less than a dollar. I wish Bitcoin was still less than a dollar because I'll be buying so much freaking Bitcoin. Even though I did see it at 50 cents. Um, yeah, I still want to go back to those days. Somebody lend me a time machine, please. I'll pay you when I get back from the past. Um, so yeah, I mean, volatility might require some patience in the short term, right? It will build an economy where truly terrifying volatility, like artificial bubbles, are no more. So there's gonna be a point in Bitcoin where the volatility is going to stop. Maybe not completely, but it's going to weaken. It's not gonna be as volatile anymore. But yeah, I'm gonna end it here. Thank you for showing up to the podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Um, check out the links below. Check out justlearnbitcoin.com. We can, help you with any consultation or any course that you want to learn. We could teach you introductions to several um, exchanges and wallets that are a bit different than the wallets that you might be familiar with. Basic consultations, how to accept Bitcoin in your small to medium sized business, long term storage, end of life planning. What happens when you die? Who are you going to leave your Bitcoin to? Hopefully, you know, I mean, we're all gonna die at some point. Hopefully, we don't die anytime soon. But hopefully, your Bitcoin don't go to waste, and your loved ones might, you know, enjoy them for whatever reason. Um, but yeah, check out justnotbitcoin.com. Check out the store. Um, just a few more hours left until the 20% off on the merchandise. So if you haven't taken a look, I just added a couple, three new shirts recently. Check those out, um, and get a 20% discount off your entire order. It's gonna be ending June 30th, which is tomorrow, Saturday. So take advantage of that, and I'll see you guys next time. Also, if you don't have a Lightning wallet, there's Bottle.li. You can tip your favorite YouTuber, whoever that might be. You can tip your Reddit user, for their posts. You could tip your Twitch streamer. Um, you could use it for a lot of social media. So you could tip people like that. There's a little um, extension that you download, you install it, and if you're on YouTube or Twitter, you select which social media you're gonna be using it on, and then you can just use it to tip people. If you want to send me a tip, I would appreciate it. You don't have to. But there's my Bitcoin address at the bottom, my on-chain BECH32 SegWit address, my Lightning tipping.me wallet, and Bottle.li, of course. But if you sign up to Bottle.li using the link in the description, you're gonna get 1,000 satoshis for free, and you would also be helping the channel. So check those out. Um, Also, the 10% off on the Learn to Trade course. It ends on June 30th on Saturday as well. You have to be going through justlearnbitcoin.com in order for you to take advantage of that course if you want to learn to trade. You don't really have to trade, Bitcoin or crypto. You could trade, the traditional markets like stocks, bonds, futures, and all those traditional markets. It's a very good skill to have if you wanna, go into business for yourself, and you don't want to have to pay. You don't have to be working for somebody else. Rather, so check this out. Anyway, I'm gonna end it here. Thanks for watching. Have a good evening. Have a good afternoon. Have a good night whenever you're watching this. Leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys next time. I am out.